So welcome to the video. This month I have found myself moving back to Octopus for my SEG, for my solar export, and I decided to do that on the 1st of December. Now I've been with Scottish Power for 3 months, and if you want to see the video about me signing up to Scottish Power, have a look here, and I'll put the link to that in the video description below as well. But I had no problem signing up to Scottish Power. They were the best rate on the market, 12 pence per kilowatt hour for export, and at the time I was only getting 4 pence on Octopus, with being on Go or Intelligent. And I'd moved to Intelligent, or Intelligent Go as it's now called, on Octopus. So I decided to move to Scottish Power to get the 12p because I was stuck on 4. As soon as I moved, they upped the rate to 15 pence, which I was really annoyed about, as I'd already signed up. But I thought I'd give it the whole of the 6 months, which is what Scottish Power want you to do before you get paid and can do your first meter reading. And then I thought, well, I'll swap back, because obviously we're not going to export much in the winter anyway. And come the sort of summer, or early April, March, spring season, we'll start to export more, and I'll move back across after my 6 months. But I kind of didn't want to wait any longer, and there's a couple of reasons why. The first one is because of the saving sessions. Is one reason, really, is that if you don't export with Octopus, if you do the saving sessions with Octopus and then you don't export with Octopus, they won't give you the money for doing your export. So that's really important to note. So there's a reason for moving back to Octopus and having your export with them, because they'll record your export and you'll get paid for that during the saving session. So that's one good reason for moving back to Octopus or having your export with them if you're enrolled with them for your saving sessions. The other reason, obviously, is because I am finding myself exporting a fair bit, or I did in November, not so much in December, admittedly, because it's been a terrible month. But in November I did export everything during the day, and I was on a 12p rate with Scottish Power, but basically I could get 15 with Octopus. So it's basically greed, and getting that 3 pence more per kilowatt hour is another reason why I moved. So another reason for going back to Octopus, and this has fixed the bug in my kind of control panel area. My control panel area stopped working, and if you've seen any of my other kind of monthly videos, you'll know that I couldn't get to or download my raw data or see my graphs or anything. So it kind of really stuffed up me making my monthly videos. But funnily enough, as soon as my SEG went back to Octopus, my control panel area sprung back into life, and I can immediately download my data and see all of my graphs and things like that. So that's another reason for going back. Now, I haven't heard anything from Scottish Power whatsoever. I would have expected to hear from them to say, sorry to hear you're leaving, give us a meter reading, blah blah blah. I've heard absolutely nothing. I did take a photograph of the meter on the 1st of December when I moved across to Octopus, and obviously supplied that image to Octopus as well. So I've got that on hand if Scottish Power want to see it. I don't know what's going to happen. Probably they'll take the meter reading again after the first 6 months, or they'll just pay me up to that reading once the 6 months have elapsed even. And hopefully I'll get my money. I've worked out roughly they owe me about £50, so we'll have to see if I actually get that back or not, but here's hoping. So the next thing to talk about is obviously the move back to Octopus for the export. So what I'm going to do now is kind of take you back through that process that I did, and a couple of things to watch out for if you're moving back or if you're on Intelligent as well. So let's have a look at that now. So this is the screen where you sign up to the Smart Export Guarantee, or the SEG. So you need to enter your MPAN number if you've got one. If you haven't got one, leave this blank. It will be a number of weeks before you do get to switch over, because they have to go off to the DNO and get a MPAN for you. If you do know yours, just enter it in here. And then you get to enter what technology do you have. Well, for me, of course, it's solar and storage, although there are other values in there such as hydro and wind, etc. as well. And there's also a question about, does your property have a feed-in tariff or FIT? You should know this already, really, but don't worry, they will check up on this on the register to see if you do have one. More often than not, this will only be really an issue if you've kind of moved into a house that does have panels already on the roof. You can't get FIT anymore. So if it's a new install, say no. Then you have to enter your MCS certificate number, which is in the format of MCS hyphen and then a number of numbers and a digit. So if you don't know your MCS certificate number, you can upload your certificate instead if you've got that. And then has your DNO or distribution network operator been notified of your system being connected? This will depend on how much power you can kind of export. You should have known whether you needed they're okay or not. I did, and they have been notified, and then you have to upload your DNO letter that you got back from them saying that your installation was okay. And then finally you agreed to the SEG terms and conditions, and then right at the bottom on the button apply for smart export guarantee, and then you'll see a screen just like this. Thanks for joining. Hang tight while we process your application. If you haven't got an MPAN, it can take up to 4 weeks, and then they'll set up your export, and they'll want probably a photograph of your meter, of your export meter. Then within about a day, my control panel looked like this. Straight away, I submitted an opening meter reading. A few days later, they did actually ask me via email for a photograph of the meter as well, which I'd also taken. And then it just says that your switch is on track, and it says at the bottom there that I will go live on, or they will get my supply from the Friday the 1st of December. Literally this it was about Wednesday or Thursday that I did this, and it was so quick to move back to them. It was unbelievable. Literally within a day or so it had moved back, and this is what it looked like once I'd moved back. You might be able to spot something in error here. Yeah, they put me on the 4.1 pence rate by default, which is very strange because they knew I was on intelligent. I would have thought I would have gone on to the 15p rate automatically. Why would you want to be on the 4p rate as opposed to the 15p rate? Although you can be on one or the other when you're on intelligent. I was a bit shocked by that I found that a day or so after I'd moved. So I basically emailed them and said, you know, hang on, why am I not on the 15p rate? And this is what I got back. Thanks for email. Your export tariff is SEG, which is 4.1, but you can sign up for the outgoing fixed agile here, and a link octopus.energy/outgoing. And that basically takes you back to another kind of sign up screen, which we've just looked at. Very, very similar, if not the same one. So I did all that again, and I left it a few days, and it hadn't changed. I expected it to change over really quickly because the whole move from Scottish Power to Octopus was within a day or so. So I expected an internal move to be even faster, but it wasn't. So I phoned up and asked them what had happened, and they basically said there was a bit of a glitch in the system. So I stayed on hold while they spoke to a different department for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then they came back and said everything was okay, and I refreshed the control panel area and the 15p rate showed up. So with all fairness, it probably was my fault in the end. I probably chose the wrong export tariff link to fill the form in, although they both looked identical to me in the end anyway, but you know, we got there in the end. So it's worth having a check actually if you should be on a higher export rate than they're quoting. If they put you back on the 4p rate and you should be on, say, I don't know, 7 or 12 or whatever, then do check on that and get onto it and get back to them and get that rate raised in case that happens to you. So that's it really. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give us a like, and don't forget to leave a comment, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel, of course. See you soon.